and welcome to the show. Tonight, I'll be chatting to the brilliant comedian Joe Wilkinson and the star of Harry Potter, Evanna Lynch. But first up, the news. This week, it's been all about COP26.
The clock ticks for planet Earth. Can COP26 deliver?
Around 120 world leaders are gathering in Glasgow for the talks.
With one principal aim, to get the world to commit to reduce carbon emissions and to avoid a climate catastrophe.
It's 1 minute to midnight on that doomsday clock, and we need to act now.
It's unbelievably serious. So what sensible plan has Boris got to save the planet?
And I think we certainly could start by rewilding our oceans. There's a lot of space to do that.
We could feed some of the human beings to the animals.
Well,
that would...
Forget the sea. Let's feed Granny to a squirrel. She wants to preserve the oceans. He wants to turn us into animal tapas. And that wasn't his only mad suggestion.
Cows burp a great deal and emit gases, and we have to encourage them to stop burping.
We have to encourage cows to stop burping. How? Chat to them in a field. Now, Daisy, what should you not do? Burp. And why is that?
Because it's dirty.
What else?
Fart. It's bad. Because my turds are killing the planet.
I'm 41. It's... so many nuts ideas. Did anyone else see Prince Charles' speech at the conference?
Work together to rescue this precious planet and save the threatened future of our young people.
Wise words. So what practical advice has he got that we can all follow?
My old Aston Martin, which I've had for 51 years, runs on, can you believe this, surplus English white wine.
Just fill up your car with Chardonnay. Surplus wine. British people don't have leftover wine. If the bottle's opened, it's getting finished. Mind you, at least Charles was at the conference.
The Queen will miss the COP26 climate summit in Glasgow, following advice to rest.
Did you see one of the reasons why she's had to rest? The Queen is knackered because she's been staying up watching TV.
Fucking Squid Game, man. I'm obsessed. If you'd have told me, hey, Liz, you want to come round mine and watch some Koreans get shot on the head where they play marbles? Probably would have said, not my thing. Turns out I'm hooked. I love it. And the Queen's Gambit. Oh, I mean, that's what we call Prince Andrew. But it's still a lot of fun. Now, worryingly, the Queen wasn't the only absentee.
China's President Xi Jinping and Russia's Vladimir Putin won't be joining the talks.
Which is brutal because China emits more greenhouse gas than the entire developed world combined. Come on, China, this is important. I mean, even the Taliban have joined calls to save the environment. If we don't save the planet, innocent women and children will die. And that is our job. We believe in the caliphate and meat-free Mondays. No, you're a meerkat. It was a shit impression, but I don't know many Taliban members. It's nuts. Terrorists are doing their bit, and some of the richest countries in the world couldn't give a shit.
Saudi Arabia, Japan and Australia are among countries asking the UN to play down the need to move rapidly away from fossil fuels.
It's a disgrace. Saudi Arabia love fossil fuels so much, they've unveiled plans for a sprawling oil rig-themed amusement park. Forget Disneyland, we've got Petrol World! How bleak does that sound? Hey, kids, you've heard of Mickey Mouse? This is Darren Dolphin! Mind you, here in Britain, we're not exactly saints. Have you seen what we're doing to our water? MPs vote to allow water companies to dump raw sewage into rivers and seas. Our rivers are so disgusting. Children can play actual poo sticks. You know it's bad when someone on the BBC is using language like this.
I'll let you guys be the judge of what is coming out of this pipe. But I can tell you one thing, by standing, you know, just a couple of metres from it, it smells like absolute
Why did they bleep it? This is what we want. Honest news. Wouldn't it be great?
Good evening. Boris is talking shit, Priti Patel's a dick, and Keir Starmer is doing piss all. Here's Jenny with the weather.
It's fucking raining.
That's what we want. The news should swear. I mean, fuck me. Look what else is in our rivers.
There's wet wipes, there's sanitary towels, there's tampons. We've had swimmers reporting swimming along and having a sanitary towel stick to their face.
Tampons on the face. The government are literally making us look like cunts. No wonder they couldn't find Nemo, just...
I've been stuck in a fanny hanky for 2 months!
Horrible! Christ, I mean, the way we treat the planet, you kind of understand the protests. Unfortunately, the way some people do it doesn't exactly help. I mean, look at this.
The group Ocean Rebellion call this disruption through the medium of art. A protest against ocean pollution entitled Dead Mer People.
Will somebody not think about the mer people? If we don't do something, fictional characters will die. Today the mermaids, tomorrow the pixies. How's that helping? It's like this woman earlier this year.
We're here to basically put the word out about climate crisis because it's a serious, serious matter.
It is a serious matter. So, how did she put the word out? She got her tits out. And I know there's people going, excuse me, if she, as a woman, wants to get her tits out, then that is her business, not yours as a man. And you're right. But it's not going to stop climate change. In the same way, I'm not going to stop knife crime by doing the helicopter. You know, just outside the playground, I believe the children. I'm doing my bit. What are you doing, eh? Mind you, showing your hooters to stop polluters, very proud of that, is nothing. This guy took it further. Extinction Rebellion protester glues his head to roads. Did you see him on the news? He started off so defiant.
The government's response to the climate emergency in terms of the number of heat pumps that they're looking to put in, they're looking to put in 90,000 out of 25 million. That's less than 1/3 of 1%.
Then when he realised he had to cut his face free with scissors, he had a change of heart.
Do you regret the gluing? Are you
yeah, it's not one of my better moves.
If I had me time again, I'd probably use blue tack. It's frustrating, isn't it? Because most protesters make sense. I mean, look at Greta Thunberg. Did you see her arriving at COP?
Activists are demanding more action now, led by Greta Thunberg, mobbed as she arrived in Glasgow. But she says there's still hope.
If we can't keep the global average temperature rise to below 1.5, then we do 1.6, and then 1.7, and so on. We can always prevent things from getting worse. It's never too late to do as much as we can.
And she makes good points, but no matter what she says, some parts of the media hate her, particularly GB News.
When the Swedish teen speaks, we are meant to listen.
Has she been invited? Apparently not.
I thought she said she wasn't going.
She's really a religious nutter. I think she's just an angry young woman.
She does like the limelight after all.
How dare she?
How dare she? How dare she save the planet? She should do something honourable like us and set up a news channel for fuckwits. It's not just Greta. Did anyone else see this protester having to deal with the idiotic suggestion from talk radio presenter Mike Graham.
What do you do for a living, Cameron?
I'm a carpenter.
A carpenter, right. So how safe is that for the climate?
Well, I work with timber, which is a much more sustainable material rather than concrete. I also
But you work with
retrofit-
trees that have been cut down then, don't you?
It's a sustainable building practice.
How is it sustainable if you're killing trees?
Because it's regenerative, you can grow trees.
Right. Well, you can grow all sorts of things, can't you?
Well, you can't grow concrete.
You can. See you, Cameron. Cheerio.
Join me after the break when I'll be talking to the Harry Potter star turned activist, Evanna Lynch.
I
Burn it?
got it out one day, psyched myself up, got all these sterilising things, bleached everything,
Full
wrapped it up in a bag, in a box, drove to like a dodgy neighbourhood in LA and threw it in a bin there.
Welcome back to the show. My first guest tonight has gone from being a wizard on screen to trying to change the world off it. Evanna Lynch is an actor, activist and author. She rose to fame playing Luna Lovegood in the Harry Potter franchise.
Hello, Harry.
Luna, how do you know where I was?
And has since gone on to the West End to critical acclaim. She's also been a strong proponent for veganism, launching an ethical beauty line, founding the Chickpeas podcast, and now brings us her incredible new memoir, The Opposite of Butterfly Hunting. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Evanna Lynch! Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I was quite surprised to be asked.
Were you?
Yeah, because like it's all for naturally funny people, isn't it?
Well, you're funny and interesting and beloved, because we've had lots of people on the show. We had Ed Sheeran on the show, but you've probably created the most giddiness in the team. Genuinely, did you see all the stuff you had to sign in your room?
Yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah, but that was from all the team that work on the show. They kind of go, "It's Luna Lovegood, right? I've got all this. Sign it." But was because you had a similar thing, didn't you? That you were a massive fan of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Before you were in the franchise.
Oh, absolutely. No, I fully understood it. That's why I take it quite seriously, you know,
Yeah.
that what it means to people. Like, I try really hard to always be nice and always be, like, ready to talk to people. Because, you know, if they have a bad interaction with me, I've ruined that character for them. Or I've ruined Harry Potter. And it's like, that's devastating. So, yeah, I do take it seriously.
What was it like going from being a mega fan to then suddenly working with the actors and then becoming your colleagues? Was that strange?
Like, it was great because I was living the dream, but I was also, like, stalking them secretly when I'd go home. Because I couldn't... You know, you do get these habits. You latch on to people, and I'd really deified them. I just thought they were superhuman.
Who was your kind of... who were you obsessed with?
Oh, Dan. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You went
yeah.
straight for Potter?
What? Yeah, of course.
I see, I'd have gone wrong. It just looks more fun.
Oh, really?
It just looks like Rupert Grint would have sort of fun in his sort of trailer. Do you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Like, but do you know what I mean by that? Whereas it looks like Daniel would be sort of practicing his lines and like, no, I will get you, Voldemort.
You actually are, like he did. He had like a pool table and darts. Yeah, people will go there to, yeah.
He had a pool table?
Yeah.
In his trailer?
Yeah.
See, I was
but
right.
I was never invited because, I did.
Oh, so you were like out on the window?
Yeah, just like you're picking up their litter and taking it home, kind of thing. No, I've worked my way in. We're friends now. Like, they let me into their WhatsApp groups. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And you're not just on here to talk about Harry Potter. You've just brought out your book. It's The Opposite of Butterfly Hunting, which is kind of an unusual title. What does that mean?
Yeah, so it's a book really about the balance between mental health and creativity.
Yeah.
Because I really do think most creative people are so sensitive that unless they have an outlet for their emotions, it will kind of just stay in and tear them up inside. So that's what it's about. And for me, that those mental health battles manifested as an eating disorder. And so the butterfly hunting, the opposite of butterfly hunting, is a metaphor for really what you sacrifice when you try and sustain these disorders, when you give yourself over to perfection. Because I see, you know, you look at a butterfly pinned to a board. At first, it looks so beautiful and just captivating, but then you kind of see the pin through it, and what somebody had to kill this little perfect creature to preserve their perfection. And I think it's that metaphor applies to eating disorders as well, that the longer you sustain that and try to sort of freeze your body and keep that perfection, the more you'll lose. Like, you lose your creativity and your life force. And that's what I really found, that while I was going through that, it just drained me. I had no personality, no creativity.
And you went through it at a very young age. And is that how you felt? You felt like you were frozen in your body?
Yeah, I was
like?
afraid to grow up. I just wanted to stay a child forever.
Yeah.
It just, womanhood seemed so terrifying. It seemed like suddenly you have all these responsibilities and you have a sexuality and you get looked at, and I just didn't want to deal with any of that. I just wanted to stay small, really.
Right.
And but there's a lot to it. That's why I wrote a book.
Yeah.
You know?
What's it like going through that? Because presumably, is it cathartic? Is it kind of harrowing? Are you writing it to sort of help others heal, or is it part of like a self-healing process?
Both, really. Understanding it, because I started speaking about this about 10 years ago, because I kind of just wanted to be honest about who I am and have deeper conversations. But then I found I tell this story and it sort of got turned into, oh, so you battled your eating disorder, your mental health, and then you got part in Harry Potter and everything's great now.
Right.
And I saw that happen. I was like, that's not how it feels. It wasn't like, and I think it does a disservice to people with mental health issues to say you can incentivize recovery, you can coax somebody out of their darkness with like treats, you know, with nice things, because I think then other people might wait for that, and it also just wasn't that for me too. Like, I had several years of recovery behind me when I got the part in Potter, so that has to come first. I think you have to find your self-worth. But yeah, I wrote it to like answer questions from people, and also there were things about my treatment that I found that I thought worked well, and other things I think could have been handled better.
Right.
So I just wanted to give an insight into that journey, and also the non-linear nature of recovery. Yeah.
What's it like kind of writing a book where it's this kind of raw and kind of open for your kind of family? Is that a tricky thing?
Yeah, like the first time I had a lot of these conversations from moments in the book, and it's a lot, because I wanted it to be supportive of people with eating disorders, but also their families who don't understand it.
Yeah.
I mean, my mum was great, because there's a lot to do with her, because she actually found out, you know, she had an eating disorder when she was younger, so I really wanted to explore that relationship, and I put it all out there. So yeah, it was a lot to ask of them. I have to confess, there's some bits like, so there, like later on in the book is more of the, less of the eating disorder stuff, more of the womanhood,
Well, that's what
there's
some really funny bits in it where it sort of doesn't, you know, sound like it's initially going to be, but that, like, and I saw from an Instagram post you'd put up that you were quite nervous about the when you were talking about your menstruation.
Yeah, I was talking about that, and there's a whole chapter about, you know, there's a whole chapter about that, all the more grown-up stuff. And when I sent my dad the manuscript to approve his bits in the book, I left that chapter out. I was like, he never needs to know that. He doesn't need to know that I have, you know.
Wouldn't that be great if he's like, where's the bit about your period?
Yeah, and I forgot I hadn't sent that to him. And my dad he's buying this book for all his sisters who are like, you know.
Your dad bought it?
Yeah.
Didn't you give him a free copy?
I did. I gave him a free copy.
But
he also wanted to boost sales.
Sure.
He's very proud of it, and all, like, his sister's like from the deep countryside in Ireland, very Catholic, and I was like, oh my God! I said to my sister, why is he sending it to his, like, does he not know it's in the book? And she was like, no, he's never mentioned chapter 10. He has no idea what he's sending them. So, like, oh yeah, I'm really dreading it.
So you don't
dreading Christmas.
Yeah. So you've not had the chat about chapter 10?
No, he has no idea that's in there, and hopefully never will.
One thing I did love, I read a story about you I thought was really great, was that you were very nervous when you were moving back from LA.
God.
Are we allowed to chat about that? It's a
Yeah, we
great
can.
story.
I'll just say to the audience, though, like, I am very careful to maintain a family-friendly image because I don't want to traumatize Harry Potter fans. And that's been some of the struggle with this book, is that it's more grown-up, it's more adult, and I'll meet young people at the book launch and be like, please don't read this, you know, it'll ruin everything for you.
The way I heard the story was that you were moving back from LA and your boyfriend at the time had bought you some sexual accoutrements.
Yeah, right. So I have this just very Irish attitude to sex where I'm like, you know, I'm a liberated woman. I'm like, great, there shouldn't be shame. We should all be doing what we like. But I'm so Irish when it actually comes to it. And he bought me all these, like, horrifying looking things. They just frightened the Jesus out of me. And I kind of, like, confined them to a box that, to me, was like, box of sin is up there. Just, like, evil. And then it came to... So I was living in LA for a few years, and then I was moved back to London. And I just left that till the last. I was like, I don't know what to do with that. I just kept having all these nightmares that it was going to be going through customs and all these giant toys would be falling out.
So what did you do with this box of sin? Did you leave it there?
No, I got it out one day, psyched myself up, got all these sterilizing things, bleached everything, because I was just like, I do not want any connection to this box of sin. And yeah, I cleaned everything, wrapped it up in a bag, in a box, drove to a dodgy neighborhood in LA and threw it in a bin there. I'm really sorry for sharing that. Yeah. I'd be so good at having to hide a body. I'd be good at the cleanup.
Well, it feels like sort of CSI dildo, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It could be a winner.
Yeah.
So if there's one message that you would want readers to take away from the book, what would it be?
Okay, so I think so many of us are addicted to negative thinking because it feels safe, because you kind of think, if I'm my biggest bully, if I know all the mean things, I'll be okay, I won't be hurt. But what I want people to realize is that the negativity, it never ends. You'll just get deeper and deeper into it, and you'll just find yourself, in a very dark corner, alone, and believing all the bad things. And I think you can make a choice to really invest in the positive things, to surround yourself with positive people, positive experiences, and when you do that, your life will kind of flourish and expand, and it will be more fulfilling, and you won't feel safe, you know, it'll be unpredictable and wild, but it'll be much more beautiful than pursuing, I say in the book, if you continue to follow the negative thoughts, it always leads to a dead end, either literally or just figuratively deadening, creatively deadening. So yeah, I hope people will read this and want to choose creativity and want to choose positive thinking. That's nice, thank you.
I really enjoyed that. What a fascinating interview. Absolute pleasure.
Thank you, I enjoyed it too.
It's a really great read. I heartily recommend you go and get it. Ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful Evanna Lynch! Now it's time for Playground Politics. And this week, I chatted to the kids about billionaires. How do you become a billionaire?
By getting rich. By getting rich. Money.
Do you know what a billionaire is?
It's someone who has £1 billion.
That is exactly right. Do you know, they earn like £10,000 a second.
What, a second?
A second. What would you do if you had that money? What would you buy?
I would buy a Gucci bag. I would buy 2 phones.
2 phones? Why are you getting a burner? You're 9. Do you know about Elon Musk, the owner of Tesla?
What's that?
He's super rich and he's made an electric car.
Is he a jerk?
Is he a jerk?
Yeah. I mean, he did give his son's name, XA12.
Yeah. I mean, that's a jerk manoeuvre, isn't it?
Yeah. What kind of name is that?
Why can't you just call your kid something normal?
Like Derek or Bertie.
Exactly. Derek, Bertie is...
Joe Bob.
Or Joe Bob. Do you know who Jeff Bezos is?
Yes, he's the boss of Amazon.
That's right.
No, I don't know. He's the 2nd richest person in the world.
Who's the richest?
Bill Gates.
Yeah. How much money do you think Jeff Bezos has got?
About 1.5 trillion pounds.
Close.
Ooh.
It's somewhere between 170 and 190 billion. What would you...
180 billion.
What would you... What? Yeah. Yeah, I should have just said 180. I think he earns like £1,000 a second.
In just an hour, he gets 3,600,000, I think.
You've got an amazing brain. You could work for Jeff Bezos.
What does he do with all of it?
Well,
does he just keep it in a bank, in a vault underneath his house, just like underground money?
I really like that. Where are you going, Jeff? Oh, nowhere, just to see my underground money.
Go under, down for the money.
Underground money.
He's actually gone through a tricky divorce.
Oh.
Yeah. Now it's time for the spotlight. My guest this week is a stand-up comedian who won the Best Comedy Show at the Edinburgh Fringe. Please welcome the brilliant Jordan Broome!
May I? May I? Yeah? Great, cheers, thank you. I never know what... It's hard to know what to do with your body, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's hard to know. Like, whenever I'm sort of just walking around, there's just something very off about it. And when I try and sort of, you know, sort of calm down and look cool and composed, I'll panic and do something like this. Well, it's both too many and too few fingers, isn't it? So I might just sit, if that's all right. How are you, OK? It's a hard question to answer that, really, isn't it? No one actually says, how are you anymore, though, do they? No one actually asks you how you are. You know when someone sends you a message or an email, they won't say, how are you? They'll say, hope you're well. Hope you're well. And then get straight into the reason why they've messaged you. Hope you're well is basically code for, I ain't got time for your shit, Nigel. I want my bread maker back. No one's really listening to each other anymore, you know? No one's really paying attention to one another, you know? Like, what's your name, sir? I really don't think we are. I think we're so... We're not really listening, though. We're not paying attention. Like, whenever I'm having a conversation with someone, I'm not listening to a single thing they're saying. If it's not my own voice I can hear, I don't care. Like, the other day, I was having a conversation with a friend, right? Wasn't listening to a single thing he was saying. He stopped talking, and I took a punt and went, well, that's capitalism. And he went, yeah. So true. I was like, oh, okay. No. There's one person who always knows how I am. She never has to ask, and that's my mum, right? She could sense I was feeling a little bit sad recently, and she was like, you just need to get away. Because she lives in Dorset in the countryside. She was like, you just need to get away. And I was like, you don't get it. There's no getting away. There's no getting away from this. We are all blood-curdling screams trapped in an Alcatraz of skin from which there is no escape. And Mum was like, OK, darling, well, just call me when you're near the station, you know? And so I go, and for someone who's trying to get me out of my head, she goes the worst way about it, right? Because she's on the phone all day. She just loves to talk, you know? She's a real babbler. She just loves to talk to friends, family, anyone who'll listen, right? Whenever she walks into a room that I'm in, she'll describe what I'm doing down the phone. So she'll be like, oh, yeah, Jordan, he's here. He's just reading a book. And I don't know if you've ever tried to make someone feel the most self-aware they've ever felt. Just simply describe their actions at them. Like I'll be buttering a crumpet in the kitchen, and she'll walk in and go, oh, yeah, Jordan, he's here. He's just buttering a crumpet. And I'll be like, oh, my God, I guess I am! It's like you're a background extra in a film, and you know the camera's going past you, and you're like, do it like a normal person. Do it like a normal person. Like, try it. Like, next time you're walking down the street and you see someone just, like, posting a letter, just go, posting a letter, and watch them just go, oh, my God. We all have a very complicated self-image. All right, mate. Go back to bed. Go back to bed, I'll be out in a minute. Sorry, my dog walked in while I was writing this. We all have a very complicated self-image. Like, we can hate and love ourselves at the same time, can't we? Like, the other day, for example, I winked at myself in the mirror and then immediately told myself to fuck off. Very mixed messages from me to me. You got to look after yourselves. You got to look after yourselves, you know. It's hard, but you got to exercise a little bit of self-care, you know. You got to take care of yourself. Has anybody been to therapy? Just the women, yeah. Don't go. Don't go, there's no point. You're just upgrading your sadnesses to 4K. And what's the point? Like, I'm 35, right, and the world's coming to an end. What am I going to learn now that's going to be of any value? As the seawater levels rise, I'm going to be like, I think I know why my dad never loved me. It's pointless, it's done, it's too late. It's like Googling, who was William Shakespeare on your way to your English exam. You fucked it. You fucked it, it's over, it's done. Made one rule, right, for myself recently. I was like, no more iPad in the bed. All right, that's a good one. No more iPad in the bed. A bed's for sleeping in, buddy. No more iPad. But that didn't say anything about phones. Yeah, that's right. I found myself a loophole. Fuck you, me. Lying in bed watching Lord of the Rings on my phone, chuckling like a bastard. But not putting it in landscape mode. That is self-care. All right, I've got to go now. I've got to take this little dog out. Did you get that he was a metaphor for depression? Come on, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, the wonderful Jordan Broome! And his dog! See you after the break, where I'll be joined by the absolutely brilliant Joe Wilkinson!
One of the members of his family had a bread knife in a jar by the toilet. The amount of people have said, yeah, my auntie chops up her shit.
Welcome back to the show. Now, my final guest tonight is an absolutely fantastic comedian. Joe Wilkinson is a comedian, actor and writer. Beginning his career as a stand-up, he became a constant fixture on our TV screens, starring in Him and Her, Netflix's Sex Education and Afterlife.
What's your name?
It's Pat.
Postman Pat.
Yeah.
Put it through the door.
Whilst also providing some of the funniest and most bizarre moments on TV.
Fuck off.
And now he's bringing us the second series of his own comedy, The Cockfields. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the wonderful Joe Wilkinson! Hello, mate. Absolutely lovely to see you. I normally see you in Brighton.
I know, how you doing?
I'm good.
This is weird, isn't it?
But it is, isn't it? But I find whenever you and me meet, it's kind of odd.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, remember...
Oh, I shouted at you, didn't I, the other day? I forgot about that.
Well, yeah.
You look terrified. Well... You did that thing where you were like going, I was definitely a nutter, because you didn't react for about the 7th or 8th time I shouted.
Yeah.
And I thought, am I going to keep going?
Yeah. But the one thing that I know about you is you will commit.
Oh, well, yeah.
And you did, you were like, Russ,
yeah.
Russ.
Yeah, I was going to U-turn and chase you.
But it's so nice to kind of have a chat, because we kind of go way back.
Yeah.
We used to do gigs together.
Yeah, I used to I used to support you on tour, didn't I?
It was wonderful.
Why the fuck did you let me do that?
Because you were hilarious, and as I said at a gig, not only are you very funny, but you're also a pretty decent footballer.
Shut up.
and what's funny about that, I described this to Joe at a gig, and, you know, obviously you're a very funny man. That gig didn't go great.
No. I was transfixed, because I remember how I opened, because I sort of walked, because you introduced me, and I just went... And they were like, what's he doing? And then I just went, sorry, that means a hell of a lot to me. I'll get on with it.
but it was so funny, like, because we know Joe, so we knew that was, but the crowd then were like, what the fuck is he talking about?
yeah. Get Russell on, please. Yeah.
But that was kind of one of the reasons why I wanted you desperately to come on the show, because when Sean Locke passed away earlier this year, the whole nation watched clips of him, it felt like. It was like this week-long memorial to his genius. And in so many of these clips, you were there. And it's almost like if Sean was the nation's uncle, you're like the nation's peculiar brother. What was that like, working so closely with it?
Yeah, it was a real honour, and Nick Helm summed it up. It was like if you made no one else laugh in the room, but Sean laughed, that was it.
Yeah. There's not a lot you can say, is it? Other than, I guess, you and him sort of together provided the nation with so many great moments.
Yeah, it was tough. It was really tough. But, you know.
So you've got series 2 of your sitcom. You wrote it, didn't you? The Cockfields.
Yes, with David Earl, yes.
And for anyone who hasn't seen it, what's it about?
It's about a guy taking his girlfriend back to spend the week with his family, basically, and the stresses that come with that, because we all know how difficult our families are. Some having PTSD just thinking about last Easter.
So is the sitcom kind of based on real life? Or?
Yeah, all the characters are based on either someone from my family or David's family.
We should show a clip from the show. Can you explain a little bit about it?
Yeah, the clip is about my mum's friend who likes to fart into a tissue rather than just into the air.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at it.
Sue's friend Lynn just finds it more comfortable farting into a tissue.
Lynn does what?
She coughs into your tissue.
Yes, all right.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Oh, this is why I didn't want to tell you.
But then she puts them back in the drawer.
I'm so sorry, Esther. You don't need to be hearing this on your holiday.
Hold on. Why are you letting Lynn do this?
Because she's my friend. And I want her to feel comfortable whenever she's in my home. So can we now just drop it?
Oh, sounds like Lynn already has.
Where does an idea like that come from?
It's a really lovely thing to kind of... Like, we do make fun of our family, but it's all from real love. Like, the underlying thing of the sitcom is, like, your family do your head in, but they're not there forever. And that's the battle we all have and stuff. So we're writing about what we know, and there's stuff all the time where we're kind of going, no one's gonna sort of relate to that. And there was one particular bit which was genuinely from David's family, not mine. And honestly, and one of the members of his family had a bread knife in a jar by the toilet. I was like, why? He explained, I'm sure you can find it out. I was like, no one does that. Amount of people have said, yeah, my auntie chops up her shit. And you're like, okay, the world is weird. There's some people, I'll explain to you, some people do large...
yeah, but I'm trying to think logistically, what my thought, but are they sort of like that?
Not on the way down.
Yeah, but that's what yeah. But that's what I'm thinking.
Like a charcuterie.
But that was my thought. I was like, at what process do they go, I'll get the blade out? Do you know what I mean?
I think if your legs go straight.
Now, One of the characters is your stepbrother, I believe.
Yeah.
He's obsessed with collecting selfies.
Yeah, the character's based on someone and you know, likes getting selfies. And the worst what happened to me is I don't know, I sound like I'm showing off, Russell, but I developed piles a few years ago. And I went to the doctor and I was told to lie on my side. And he put his finger up my arse, basically. Yeah. And that's the first time that had happened to me.
Yeah, it's...
And I felt quite hollow.
It's a very vulnerable moment.
Yeah, it's a real low... It's a low point.
And it feels like they're in there for ages. It's like they're trying to get the pound from the bottom of the bag.
Yeah, I started watching iPlayer again. So I pulled my trousers up and sort of left, and I was really low. And a couple of fellas had waited for me outside and said, "Oh, could we get a selfie?" So I remember 2 fellas with their arms around me, and the look on my face must have been... Thanks, mate. Just, yeah, so then...
All sorted?
They never really go away.
Now, I thought what we'd do as a special treat, I've got a little present for you.
Oh, God.
Well, it's always nice.
Oh, OK. Jesus Christ, doesn't look nice.
I found this in a bin in LA. It's actually a little trophy.
Oh, my God. Pretty decent. Jesus, you've captured... God, you've...
It's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really...
Can you read out what it says?
It says, pretty decent footballer, which was the actual phrase you brought me on to. Yeah, you remembered.
And you look like a lovely gold estate agent. Absolutely brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can, check out Cockfields. It's on UK Gold.
Yeah, on the 8th of November.
Give it a spin. It's absolutely brilliant. Ladies and gentlemen, the fantastic Joe Wilkinson! Finally tonight, it's Good Deeds and a brilliant organisation that is empowering refugees through food.
Hi, I'm Jess and I founded My Grateful. My Grateful is a cookery school which supports refugees to integrate into UK society by supporting them to run their own cookery classes. After graduating from university, I went to Morocco to teach English and I found myself volunteering daily in refugee camps, thinking about the reasons that people are forced to leave their homes for persecution or war. I felt really determined to help refugees that were arriving in the UK and were struggling to set up their lives here. The first class, when I invited this Iranian woman round to my house to teach my friends, she was horrified by my kitchen, but she did manage to teach a successful cookery class. Then other people started to volunteer their homes, and then we started to approach restaurants and cafes that were happy to host us. Now we've got our own training kitchen, which is a complete game changer. We currently have almost 60 chefs from 30 different countries, and then once they're trained up, they start to teach the general public.
So guys, we need to cut the aubergines of thickness like that.
I used to be paramedic with the Lebanese Red Cross. I was shot twice in Lebanon. I realized it wasn't safe for me to stay there, so I came to the UK and applied for asylum.
What defines a good tabbouleh is how finely we chop the parsley.
Cooking before was just a hobby for me, but when I joined My Grateful, they were able to shift this hobby to a new level, to be able to teach a cookery class as a chef.
The chefs are amazing, the diversity in what you learn about cooking and the community and the culture that the chefs come from. So yeah, I'll definitely be coming back.
In my country, when you share food with someone, means you're sharing your world with him. When we deliver a cookery class, we feel ourselves part of this society, as if we're helping and building the society through cooking. My Grateful supports me, not only when I am happy, but when I am down. Jess, she is family for me, definitely.
So far, 5 of our chefs have gone on to start their own catering companies. The secondary thing that we're trying to do is change negative perceptions of migration in the UK, bringing a human face to those stories. We're starting to see some really positive impact from those interactions, people changing their minds and realising that we do really want to welcome refugees in this country. The customers keep coming back. They love the chance to meet our chefs, and I'm really excited that we're able to offer them that opportunity.
Lovely stuff. Thanks very much for watching the show. Good night, my friends. Good night.